All right. Good evening, everyone. It is about a quarter after 9 Eastern Standard on a beautiful Monday night. Uh, One of our players is running a teeny bit behind, but he will be joining us shortly. But we are getting ready to dive back into another night of Dungeons and Dragons, The Shadows of Despair. But before I get into our recap, where'd it go? There it is. Have an announcement to make. Guess what, friends? Once again, we are joined by the lovely ladies of the Grumpy Cookies. Do you have some discretionary funds burning a hole in your wallet and have no idea what to splurge on? Are your undies boring, monochromatic, and lacking all personality? Well, have I got something for you. Head on over to www.thegrumpycookies.com and take your pick of fandom wear to add to your collection of unmentionables. Do you need your wardrobe to have some more oomph? Some more pizzazz? We've got shirts, we've got shoes. We even got backpacks. If you want something to help flaunt your fandom, you're bound to find something that'll scratch that itch over at www.thegrumpycookies.com today. So, thank you guys, thank you ladies again for being our sponsors tonight. And with that, the last time we met, the heroes had finished dealing with the dead, both civilian and enemy alike, helping the villagers load up the deceased into their wagons to help cart off to a safer place for proper burial, and collecting the bodies of the invaders and disposing of them through a funeral pyre. It was a mass funeral pyre, but it was a far cry more respect than most people would have offered mortal enemies. This respect was noted and acknowledged by a commander of the Orisian army, a massive armored man by the name of Veros. But while this honor, this respect was acknowledged and rewarded in the form of a gemstone offered from the knight to Vernon, one of Veros's companions seemed a little agitated. He wished to test these heroes, wanted to see if it was merely a chance that felled their soldiers, their invaders, or if it was actually an earned victory. So, with a quick casting of spells, he brought forth a barrier to entrap our heroes and sent an earth elemental, to fight them. I forgot to turn off that notification. Whoops. So, before I got so suddenly derailed, thank you for the follow. The heroes, through tenacity and very, very careful application of terrain and tools, with some very, very crafty use of a barrel by one Mr. Totar, they were able to dismantle this elemental entity, leaving the villains satisfied. They then departed suddenly as a friend of one Mr. Vernon arrived on the scene, shattering the dome in which the party found themselves trapped in, feasting on a delicious meal that Lucky Quilt somehow managed to manifest out of sheer chance. And with that, we start tonight's episode of The Shadows of Despair, a chance reunion and villains afoot. Hello, my friends.
Hello there.
Welcome back. We weren't saying nothing.
I don't trust you guys at all.
You really didn't miss it.
I just think I accidentally got heard after you came off deaf and mute.
All I heard was laughter.
Good.
That was perfect timing.
It's like when the class clown goes off and does something, and just the the teacher comes back just in time.
You're the class clown.
We're all the class clown here.
That's very true.
Do I look like a clown to you?
Anyways,
Got them big ass feet with them fucking shoes.
so
Look
As-
like a clown to me.
as we left off last time, you guys were enjoying the meal, and Elias had shattered the barrier that trapped you guys in the town.
Goddamn feet in 2 different time zones.
So, oh shoot, might help if I actually. There we are. Okay. I had forgotten for a moment to switch to the actual tabletop stream page. There we go. So
Our
Elias-
icons exist.
Elias had informed you all that he had headed straight over here after leaving the fort, having just barely missed you all. He had rushed this way thinking that you guys were going to require some assistance. He was genuinely surprised and relieved to see that you were all safe and not the worse for wear. So, looking at you all, Elias says, "So, I mean," he kind of glances at the slightly demolished building that the elemental had been shoved into and then destroyed against. The pile of rubble and shards of rock and minerals scattered about. What exactly happened here? He looks back towards the incinerated corpses.
I don't know if anybody actually want to say anything else.
We listened to some rock music, then we had dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Plus just does a slow turn to Lucky.
Is rock music even a thing? I'd like to think it's a thing.
It is now.
Rock music is canon and favoring. Which this isn't favoring.
No.
I mean, bards do exist, so.
I mean, Zerth Ganassi probably can attest. It's probably.
Titan.
Oh no. Don't get me don't get Squeenix after me, please. I ain't got nothing for them. Stop it. Anyways. So he just looks perplexed. Rock music. Huh? He just looks at you so confused.
It's better to just not think too far into it.
I mean, I saw the wagons leaving with the villagers, so I trust that, you were able to save as many of them as you could.
We saved the majority.
Yes, we did.
Sometimes Sometimes that's all you can do, but he still just kind of marvels over at the damaged structure, trying to parse out exactly what the hell could have done that.
I'm gonna turn around from my lasagna to look. He's probably more bewildered about the destruction than civilians. Is the bucket in that pile?
You mean the barrel?
The barrel.
The chunks of barrels. The chunks of barrel.
Not my war trophy.
No, that barrel got shattered.
That would be Totar's war trophy, to be fair.
Yeah.
What happened is kind of hard to explain. Maybe we should talk about it on the road.
Yes, we should. And he kind of looks over at the table, and he starts to look away, and then very, very slowly, his whole body turns to face the table, as the dawning comprehension of what the fuck he's looking at, as his eyebrows start to rise, and the rate at ascension, and the amazing plasticity or elasticity he has in his brow. You thought for a moment that his eyebrows and his hairline were going to become one. As he's staring at it, and he goes, "How?" Because you can't just produce this much lasagna through conventional means, especially in this village. They don't have enough ovens.
I'm gonna point to Lucky and say questioningly, divine intervention?
God, no, this was no god.
Oh,
he
you're
just
very
piped up
humble.
again.
Even this lasagna is divine.
Again, it's still better to not look too far into it.
Or really bad hairball.
Oh.
Oh. That would be a low blow if I cared to let it be one. As I am scooping, I'm assuming like the lasagna is actually in like bowls or something. I'm just like shoving as many of them into my bag of holding as I can.
Was food perish in there?
They're in like tray, like the baking dishes that they were, baked in, as it were.
Oh, perfect. I'll put the lids on and just like force them into my bag of holding.
Lids on it. Oh, God.
They're like little Pyrex dishes.
Yeah, totally.
Oh my God.
Totally. He's got a whole.
Actually,
You now have Tellurian variant of Pyrex dishes filled with lasagna.
Guess
I
what?
will
We have
I
the
will
fire
say, while
constantly heat up.
it won't necessarily, it doesn't preserve it, not like a bag of colding would, but it's better than just transporting it out in the open. So like it might be good for an extra day or two.
it won't get moldy, but it will get stale.
Oh no, it'll eventually get moldy. It'll eventually go full bad.
I thought there was no
AKA
air in there.
There
If you
is no
wanna
air in
eat
there,
it,
but it'll go stale. But like every time that you bring it out to eat some more, and technically every time you open it up, you are introducing air into there. It's just that when you close it, there is no more air.
Wait,
Alright, need to get a bag of colding.
so question. If
Answer.
you destroy a bag of holding, does everything inside pop out?
Yes.
Yes.
So if I get like a pump and I pump a bag of holding absolutely full of air and launch it at someone and blast it,
That wouldn't work because it needs to be
What?
actual objects.
okay.
So
air-
conversely, if you pumped it full of satchels of blasting powder and threw it at somebody and then hit it with like a firebolt, that is about one of the most expensive grenades that you will have ever made. It'll also
got
do a shit ton of
nuclear
damage,
bombs.
but
It's only session 5 and we're talking about war crimes.
hey,
Or fill it with a bunch of
I put a
daggers.
bunch of dead bodies in there.
listen.
That's just
I-
horrifying.
Yeah, that's horrifying. But Josie, I mean Tiger, I'm surprised that we made it 5 sessions before war crimes came up. Michael and
fair.
Bill are pacing themselves.
Why am I immediately,
You know what?
into that? I am not a mad scientist.
Who was the one who blew up a forest on a different campaign?
No,
That was
not
not me.
it wasn't a
I'm not
forest.
mad scientist.
It was a windmill.
There was the windmill. There was the windmill.
I
Okay,
mean,
couple
the
of
biggest
things.
work
All right.
on that one was chickens.
Yeah. Fried that chicken without battering it first.
Right, couple of things. One, that windmill needed destroyed. Second of all, I did say grab the chickens as my character was running out the fucking door and no one else did. And thirdly, I'll do it fucking again.
I'll fucking do it again.
I mean, also to be fair, if Geneva doesn't exist, do we really have to obey the Geneva Conventions?
Oh no, there's
Remember, like,
there's different conventions here.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Geneva
Sorry.
suggestion.
You mistaken it. Those are called moral. I know this hard for you to understand.
Anyways, so as you guys, as Lucky is putting, dishes into his bag of holding, Elias kind of sits there with grabs a fork as he's staring at because when I said that it was the table was filled to the brim, it was like there was dishes, but there was also servings that were already served and just ready for consumption. And so he takes a fork as he's just marveling at this because it doesn't make sense. And he cuts a little wedge off of this piece and takes a bite and he goes, and he looks at you, Lucky, because you were the one that was pointed out as the reason why it happened. And roll me an insight check.
Uh-oh. He's fallen in love with me. Insight check.
Well, I had wanted that to be in private, but let's everybody see that nat 20.
There's gonna be weird leather books written about you too.
No, that is not at all what is on his face. What's on his face is he's like, what the fuck are you? He's trying to parse you out. You don't make sense.
What the fuck is that, kitty cat?
Like he does not believe that you're actually a tabaxi. He thinks you're something else wearing a tabaxi disguise. He just doesn't know what that something else is. Because it doesn't. Because you being either a fiend, a celestial, or a fae doing this makes a lot more sense than you just being a tabaxi with weird magic bullshit.
I am actually a dragonborn in disguise. No.
Explains the smell.
Fuck you.
Right. Anyways, Vernon, let's get your crew loaded up and let's be on our way. I have much to brief. And much to be briefed. He says, much to be briefed. He looks back at the shattered building.
Seriously, take as much lasagna as you can. It's not going to stay.
I'm gonna take an entire dish.
And
Do horses
I've got
like
like 10.
lasagna?
As I look at the table and I look at you guys, I may not be the most magical person, but when the table disappears, doesn't everything with it disappear as well?
Is my food gonna get uneaten?
To be fair,
How is it
the
going
last-
to disappear from me?
to be fair, the last time this happened, the food stayed.
Last time.
This isn't the first time this has happened to you?
That means we can
Mom?
do it again.
He's a cat. Hair bills happen all the time. See? Right now. Get back up. My table might be coming up. Totar slightly smiles at you. This is all strange to me. I don't know how to handle this situation.
Yeah, no.
Trust. For the first couple of years, it was very interesting, but now it kind of becomes mundane.
Smash something's head in. Understood. I can do that. Table. Randomly appearing on battlefield. Nope.
Free food.
Is there any cutlery?
I mean, it's
There's
very simple forks and knives. Like nothing. There's no like silver or anything. But yes, there is utensils with which to eat your food.
Okay.
The food is the most high quality thing about this table.
Yes. And I guess maybe the
Can I-
Pyrex dishes.
Can I take the cutlery for potential tinkering later? You're allowed to say.
Not really, mostly because
Yeah.
to take enough of it to make it meltable to be usable for anything, really worth the time and effort, you'd have to take every last piece of it at least 12 times over.
Gotcha.
Because every time that you melt down already forged metal objects, you lose some of the material in the re-smelting process.
I was more of hoping to hold on to it to make like a knickknack or two.
Okay, in that
Like,
regard,
not actual usable equipment.
okay, in that case, then yeah, you could probably. You could take it if you wanted to for just silly bullshit tinkering.
Yeah.
Just for
And in Toltar
downtime.
fashion. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
It's probably super low grade iron or steel. I wouldn't make equipment or armor.
Very low grade.
And in Toltar fashion, he looks at the table, sees all the lasagna, reaches one hand out, digs into one of the sections, pulls it out, and begins to eat out of his hand as he walks over to Beast as he holds out some to him as well.
Beast was already like standing at the table, and there's like 3 plates that were in range that already had pieces of lasagna on them when the table appeared. Those plates are licked clean. But when you offer it to him, he licks your hand clean too.
I stare. Sure. Reaches his hand in again, pulls out our chunk, starts eating out of it.
And Beast is just looking at you, tongue lolled out, tail wagging, with that canine look of, you love me.
Couple more bites and reaches over. Sure.
He takes.
Eat that
He
one.
doesn't eat the whole thing.
Smart dog.
Then I pull back and eat the rest out of my head. Good dog. Pat him on head.
Oh, as you go to pat him, he's like jerking his head back, licking at your hand, trying to clean your hand.
Oh.
If you hold your hand still, he will lick it clean and then bump full on, bury his head into your hand for a pet.
No.
He has
Good
priorities. There's taste. He wants taste. He doesn't want to wear taste. He wants to taste.
Spend the whole day trying to get off the Adam.
That's a good dog.
Beast's good.
It's not a dog.
Every time you say that,
You're
he
not
just
a cat.
he just looks at you every time that you say, he's not a dog. Like not aggressively, just like a why? And then carries on.
How dare you?
Rude?
No. There's something about that dog.
Like there's something about you spawning a whole table with lasagna.
Beast
I
kind of
point to
nods
the
in
blue
agreement.
Semantics.
Mm-hmm.
You keep your business, I keep my business, and Beast keeps his business. Beast good.
All right, fine.
Beast helps you, does he not?
Beast does help, but I'm just saying, there's just he seems too smart for an ordinary dog.
He just chuffs at you and then trots away.
And you seem a little
Isn't
dim
fun-
for an ordinary cat.
Fuck!
I never said I was smart, but ouch.
God damn.
I bring you to my table, I feed you, and all I get is insults.
I'm just gonna look over to Ellis smiling. Like,
I pet my dog.
I
You
make good
insult
friends.
Beast. I insult you.
I never insulted it. I said it was smarter than an average dog. How is that an insult?
No, you said not dog. He good boy. He good dog.
Well, obviously he's some kind of wolf hybrid.
Wish I brought a wineskin.
Ebony just pats Beast's head while she's like calmly eating as this is going on.
So, Vernon, what were you saying to Ellis?
Well, I just looked over to him and smiled and said, I make good friends.
Ellis just kind of slowly nods. You're not certain if he fully believes that. He just knows that you have made friends.
They're very useful.
He looks at the pile of rubble, looks back at the smoldering remains, and then he'll sit there. He kind of gives a nod. He goes, "Well, I can't refute the evidence."
I'm going to point to the rubble. We didn't break that.
I'm pretty sure yeeting a rock elemental into a wall is something we did.
Did you say
If
that
I
in
were-
character?
You know, let me rephrase this. She kind of looks over at Vernon. She was like, "I'm pretty sure," because I believe I was the one who did that, right? With the
Yeah. You
Yeah.
yeeted him. You yeeted
Yeah,
him twice.
yeah,
The second time
yeah.
into pieces.
I
Yeah.
also knocked him in the balls up 10 feet and the Creed song played.
Celeste kind of looks over at Vernon and Elias, and she's like, "I'm pretty sure the rock elemental didn't have much choice in where he moved."
At which point, there's the sound of clattering as he drops a fork. He goes, "You took on an earth elemental?" You,
Not
as he
my
gestures to
choice.
all of you.
Ebony kind of just makes a thing with her hand. It was about yay big, taller than us.
As you're like standing on your tippy toes, reaching your hand up as high as you can.
I'm going to point to Beast and say he did most of the work.
Beast
I
is in
raise
the
my
middle
hand.
of sniffing his butt because dog. And he stops. He looks at you. Looks at Elias. Looks at you. Chuffs. He's just kind of.
Be nice to the dog.
Totar raises his hand. I put a bucket on its head.
That was cool.
At this point now, he looks at the pile of rubble with, instead of, concern, an expression that is an intermingling of horror and respect. As he reaches out, still looking at the rubble, reaches out and puts a hand on your shoulder, Vernon, as he goes, "You make good friends indeed.
Absolutely.
Seems that my worry was unfounded, but I'm glad I found you. We need to head over to the fort. Not Camp Bresnik, but we need to head to your other companions. I was told that there was trouble afoot in both directions, but I knew that you came here, so I came to help you. We need to go."
When he says we need to go, I'm just going to pack everything up and head to the wagon.
Yep.
Sounded pretty final to me.
Yeah.
Because as you all know, other than Beast, all of your friends went to that other fort.
Yep.
So, with that, we say goodbye to this map.
Goodbye, map.
Bye, Matt.
Goodbye. Goodbye, lasagna.
I was gonna say goodbye, table.
Goodbye, lasagna.
Draw a picture, it'll last forever.
It was a picture. So, anyways, as you guys head out, Elias is on his warhorse riding alongside you all as you guys regale him of the details, as much or as little as you guys wish, of arriving at the village, fighting off the hobgoblin invasion force, the meeting with Veros, so on and so forth. As he, just listens, wrapped with, awe, especially the fact that you guys managed to, in particular, deal with Veros and his subordinates and live. He lets you know that apparently shortly after he arrived at General wrong page.
Grisnick?
Yeah, at Major Gresnick's location, a couple of messenger birds had arrived, informing of enemy movements. That there was the Varos's party was heading in your direction, but a small contingent of troops was arriving to... It appeared to be arriving to reinforce the other base. But these numbers were coming from such an angle that it was entirely likely that your companions would be caught. So, as you all make haste, it will take some time, and if you guys take turns taking rests and shifts to maximize travel time, it'll take a little bit longer to get your full 8 hours for your long rest, but you guys will get the benefits of a long rest. Or you guys can potentially... Or you can forsake the long rest if you want to shave off even more time getting there. But the downside is it's going to require some serious animal handling and vehicle checks in order to push the horses beyond their normal means. I mean, you guys will still be pushing them beyond their normal means, but at least if you at least take enough time for you guys to get rests and everything, it would require you guys not to push the horses too hard, to ride too hard in order to create an environment where those taking their rests can sleep.
I will say we probably already have the benefits of a long rest due to leveling up.
Did we?
That's right. That is correct. I think you guys did level up last time.
Yeah, we did because we got to level 4.
yeah.
Yes.
You didn't level up?
I think she rolled her hit points, but
Yeah, I rolled my hit
Yeah.
points. I got it set up.
Yeah, I remember having to take my spills.
That's right. Yeah, I have all. Yeah, okay. I just never updated anything else.
Probably would be a good idea.
And my charisma is almost maxed because of it. 1 more point.
so as you guys are rushing, and you get...
I'm not rushing.
Yeah, I mean, because technically level ups would take place during your long rest. So, as you guys take your long rest over the course of traveling, the level up is applied, and you guys arrive after about a solid 30 hours of hard travel.
Oh God.
You guys arrive at what you recognize as you arrive, Vernon, as a fairly familiar sight based off of topography, although the village that once lay here is gone.
Uh-oh.
In its place is a makeshift fort that, judging by fortifications and the way the structures have been built upon and modified over the past several years, it was originally a forward outpost built by the Orisians, and over the last several years there have been many little skirmishes back and forth, retaking this fort back and forth and trying to re-fortify it as a defensible position for our side or a staging area for incursions from the other side. But on that hill, farther to the east side of this fort, you can still see the degrading and dilapidated remains of what once was a temple in which you used to pray.
Oh shit.
Mm.
It has been many years since you've been here. If you look over at Elias, there's a very stern, grim determination etched into his face as his eyes are scanning, surveying, looking for signs of anything, any movements. As you are approaching this fort, it is quiet, silent. Just the sounds of the wind dancing through the tall grass and the occasional crack of fabric as flags hanging posted on the parapets of the fort dance and snap in the wind. But other than those noises, the sounds of the horses beneath Elias and pulling your wagon, and the creaking of the wood and structure of the wagon as it ambles down the road, you hear nothing but your own thoughts.
I'm just gonna kind of lean over to Elias and put my arm around him, make sure he's doing all right.
He kind of shakes his head, snapped out of his sentry, as he looks at you. He goes, "I'm all right. I'm just." He kind of heaves a heavy sigh, and he kind of narrows his eyes once again, looking at the fort. I have retaken this place 3 times in the last 5 years. And it feels like almost every time that I'm repositioned to some other location, it's when the bastards slip back in. He spits on the ground and continues glaring at the fort. He goes, if it weren't for the fact that the brass would have my head, I'd raze it to the ground.
It does seem like a bastardization of its original.
As you all approach closer to the fort, I want everyone to roll to GM some perception checks.
Oh, wonderful.
Yippee. My highest.
How many?
stat.
Just one from everyone.
Okay, you said some perception checks, so it's like, wait.
Yeah.
Whatever, that's a GM.
That's
It is.
better than my passive perception, so I'll take it.
One from Lucky.
Perception.
Wow.
Perception.
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah,
so
surprising that chicken helped.
apparently, it looks like none of you are actually proficient in it. That's hilarious.
Show us.
Oh.
There's gonna be some serious wool being pulled over our eyes.
We are
Yep.
not very perceptive.
Like I'm looking at it and I was like,
No.
oh wow, there is
Yeah.
nobody that has a bonus outside of their base stat. That's hilarious.
Very, very prone into walking into
Well,
walls.
actually, I think Lucky might be proficient. Yeah, Lucky's proficient. He's the only one who's proficient.
I'm not the one with the eye patch.
Look, I'm better at investigating stuff, not being perceptive.
Look, you're better at it because you only have the one eye.
Yeah, you got focus.
Yeah.
I see what you did there, but it's a little blow.
She's short, of course it's gonna be low. Anyways,
Hey, yo.
your character is
Damn.
like the shortest member of the party, so yeah. Am I wrong?
On
Which
brand.
is funny because Lucky is barely taller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, when you're short, speaking as a short king, every inch counts.
Oh.
Anyways, I realized the way that could have been taken, and yeah. So, anyways,
No, excuse me, sir. There's many ways they could have been taken.
Oh my. So, that said, as you are all scanning about on high alert, Celeste, Totar, and Ebony, you guys are kind of overkeyed up, scanning about, understandable reasons for the two of you. Totar is just ready for the next fight. Ebony, you're scanning about, looking for Pepper, looking for Cal. Cells looking for
I'm pulling up the sheet. I got
Sure.
you.
yeah, my brain shut down.
Yeah.
Isn't it Servos?
Yeah, Sevros.
Yeah. Yep.
Sevros?
Yeah, looking for Sevros. But while Vernon and Lucky might be keeping an eye out for Elwyn and Tullig, you guys aren't distracted in your searching. As you start noticing not movement, but pockets of the tall grass that are pressed flat. You can't fully see at first what's causing them to be pressed flat, but eventually you ride by a section of the tall grass where there's a large swath of it that's just laid flat, and there's just bodies. So many bodies.
Like dead bodies?
Yes.
No.
As, you guys notice that the bodies are scattered far and wide, easily up to 100 or up to 200-300 feet away from the fortress walls is where you first started noticing them. But literally right as you get up to the closest entrance to the fort is where you see just mounds of corpses.
I'm gonna make a Constitution saving throw real quick.
All of you make me a Constitution saving throw.
Alright, I'm ready to hurl.
Oh. Yay.
Oh my god.
Okay,
Is
so
that something you were actually planning on doing?
yes, because the
Okay.
stench is intense.
Yeah.
These corpses are rotting like they've been here for weeks.
Based off of my Constitution save, I'm just gonna say Ebony pulls up a handkerchief fast enough.
Yeah, you pull up a handkerchief, and it's one that you had been gifted by Shuga that's got a little bit of an infusion where it just smells pungently of lavender when you wave it in front of your face. So you were caught too far off guard when the stench hits you in the face. You actually almost, if it weren't for the fact that you were not near the front or the back of the wagon, you probably would have toppled clean out of the wagon. But you drop to your knees, and you guys hear the clunking of her armor as she scrambles to the back and just projects.
Yep.
Magnificently so. Totar, you're probably riding up front. You were holding the reins. You hand the reins off to Vernon as you turn to the side, and, well, some of that lasagna that you were eating on earlier, you got to have it again.
Oh, bad hairball.
Vernon, you managed to actually swallow it back down, but you still got that stinging, burning sensation in the back of your throat, because it almost left. It almost left. You literally just beat the DC. Lucky, you've got some tea, some bags of quote unquote tea, little bags of catnip that you're kind of huffing to mask the odor, as you and Ebony are both sitting there just wafting pungent smells to help mask the stench of decay, as there is dozens of corpses, of rotting corpses. But you can...
Not my first rodeo.
But after the sickness passes and you guys get up to the gate and the smell is dissipated at proximity, you kind of glance back, and I will allow all of you to roll me history checks.
Oh, I'm good at these.
It's okay. I'm
Terrible difference. Oh,
And actually, real quick, before you roll, Vernon, roll yours
Yeah.
with advantage.
Yippee. Where this? There it is.
Damn. Okay, so, yeah, Cell, Lucky, Totar, as you guys are kind of glancing at the armor, the weapons, and everything that is strapped to the corpses, you can't make hide or tail. You know, you could tell that, you know, that's heavy armor, that's light armor, that's a scimitar, that's a longsword, that's a spear, that's a lance, blah blah blah. You recognize that it's armor and it's weapons, but that's it. Ebony,
yes.
you recognize from what you have read about some of the garb that different regiments, territories, and whatnot amongst the Assyrian territories, that these must be people from the north. But you know, other than that, you're not, you know, it doesn't do you much more than that. Just, you know that this is from these people, all these corpses out here. Like, at least 80 to 90% of them are from the north. Some of the others you couldn't place, but at least 80 to 90% of these corpses are from the north.
So I definitely can tell a lot of these are like not from like
They're
the
not
lower Telreal where
Yeah.
we're from.
And also the fact that, you know, they stink like they've been here for weeks. But this fort was held by the Assyrians at least as of yesterday. Vernon, you know exactly, you know ranks of some of these corpses. You know what battalions. You know that, you know, there's 5 guys grouped up right there that were cavalrymen from the 1st Battalion of the Assyrian military. That corpse right there was actually a captain. And that was a general right there. And it just like you're able to catalog where, you know, like what their potential jobs were with it based off of insignias and badges that they have from your time in you know, doing training, military, the brief bit of military training you did before getting heavy into the more religious training of your order. But the thing that confounds you the most is you guys can tell by the stench. Like, all of you have smelt various decay at different times in your lives of different sorts. You know, not only really Vernon and Totar probably have smelt the decay of humanoid flesh in particular, but all of you have encountered, you know, possibly a dead animal in an alley that's been left there to rot for a couple of weeks, stuff like that. Like, you have smelt death and decay before. So you know that it doesn't get this pungent unless a lot of time has passed. But the thing that confounds you, Vernon, is how is it that a general has been dead here for weeks and no one knew and no one said?
Some very important people have died here.
Important also.
Rank.
Rank. Well, they all are pretty rank, yes.
I'm gonna reach over and bop you in the stomach when you say that.
Oh. What? Oh, you meant rank.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
definitely a lot of them aren't from where we're from, at least.
waste not, want not. We could grab their insignias.
I'm gonna wait. What do you mean? I'm gonna shoot you a look. Like, what do you mean by?
Okay. I understand I'm bordering on the disrespecting the dead, but then I point at one of the piles. They've been pretty disrespected already.
Oh, there's also like tons of arrows in each of these bodies. Like lots of arrows. Some of them are also scorched, incinerated, but
I'm saying, you know, they have insignias. Like you have. No, that one looks important. You know, we could take his insignia if we ever need to go across the lines and go. We could potentially pass as their soldiers. I'm not sure where this is going to take us, so I'm just keeping ideas.
After glaring at you for a minute, I'm just gonna nod because that actually isn't a bad idea.
the only problem is while you
about to say the same thing.
while you can recognize the insignia, the ranking insignia, it is severely damaged. Because again, these guys have been shot to shit with arrows. There has been explosions. There's, lots of violence has happened.
It probably has a smell that will never leave it.
Any cloth material to it, yeah, definitely is going to take.
Yeah.
Even if you use prestidigitation, is going to take a caster check to beat that stench. It's that level of rank.
Is it possible we can still take it and then try to like
I can work on it.
We are
like
not making
reimprint,
stocks out of these.
wait,
hold on.
Something else.
Yeah. When we say insignias, are we meaning like metal insignias, or are we meaning like can be stitched onto something insignias?
Mostly metal, but there is, some cloth material to it.
Oh. I can't do much with metal, but any cloth I could possibly use.
Any
Yeah,
cloth is likely dry rotted and unsalvageable.
it is
I do have
fairly
mending and
damaged.
prestidigitation.
You do or don't?
I have both of those, mending and prestidigitation.
And we have mending.
I
Alright,
I could bombard them until it works, or it's just a waste of time.
By the
Also,
way,
We
not
should get
sure
out
if
of here as soon as we can.
The gate that you guys are approaching is cracked. It is slightly ajar.
I thought it was a door.
When is a door
gate
not a
is
door?
When it's a jar.
It's just like, oh, there's just a lovely little door there. You can smell blueberry pie coming out through it. Like a little lovely house in there.
Well,
Maybe
I
they
will
have a
say-
library.
if I don't get fucking shot by one of the paladins for this, I'm going to say, can I at least take one? Would you allow this along the lines of your religiousness?
Take one what?
Insignia.
From?
That. As I point to the corpse pile.
You should know which one you're grabbing first.
Well, I was going to grab the nearest one, but if you have a suggestion.
We'll worry about it later.
I was going to say, you would know that the general's one would be the worst one to pick because you're not going to be able to pass yourself off somebody of that level of rank.
Yeah.
And be completely unknown.
Better off taking one from the small fry.
No, I'm just asking because I don't want to offend. I
As I
understand
look
the
at you-
casualties of war.
I look at you and I give you a stern look, and I huff. I go, "Those who picked from the dead shall have one from them. Remember that."
Sorry, you broke up a little bit. Those that pick from the dead shall what?
Shall have been picked and when they dead.
To be
Those who-
fair,
Go ahead.
to be fair, I don't plan to keep my stuff when I'm dead. It's going to be no use to me. Because I'll be dead. I'm just saying, if it is going to be useful, do we grab it or not? Because if you guys say no, I will leave it be.
I will not defile a corpse for simple necessity.
Oh,
What
I'm
you
not
do
bad.
is your wish.
Ah, tough crowd.
I've
Look,
kind of like looked
this-
away.
Yeah, I would say like Celeste has like her head in between her knees, trying to avoid all the chaos, and she just kind of miserably, she's just like, I just don't think it's a good idea to take anything from the dead that is this desecrated.
Right, that is 3. That is all I need. I just thought I would ask. I thought it was a good idea. I'm not so religiously moral as some of you.
So,
Now, if we find ones on the wild and we fight them, a trophy is acceptable.
I'm gonna nod to that.
It's at this point, I'm scrunching up my face and I'm looking at Totar and Baron like, what's the difference?
Did you kill them?
No, I did not kill them.
Then there is no honor in taking from them.
But there's no honor taking from the dead regardless, even if you're the one who just freshly cut their head off.
Yes, there is. I am the victor, and the spoils go to the victor.
I'm
You
gonna
are no
interject
victor
and
here. You are nothing but a scavenger at this point.
I'm gonna interject and say we've spoken about this enough.
Alright.
Elias nods in agreement. So,
Okay, I now know where I stand with at least 3 of you. That's fine.
Ebony's just like, I am just going to help Celeste right now.
So as you have moved away from the stench, and especially with the handkerchief, you're feeling a little bit better. You definitely know you need to eventually put something on your stomach, but definitely not right now. You're gonna give it a little while before you actively contemplate asking for maybe something that isn't lasagna, considering you just re-experienced it a little too recently.
I'm gonna be vegan for a couple weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's gonna be on the brat diet.
The Brat diet,
Yeah, bananas,
bran, raisins.
no, I think it's banana, rice, apples, and toast.
Apples. Yeah.
Oh my god, Brat summer.
Which, fun fact, on an unrelated note, slightly unrelated note, if you know you're going to be sick and you have to eat something, eat bananas, because they are one of the few things that tastes exactly the same going down as they do coming up.
You are wise in your words.
I can only do that in every season but summer.
What the fuck is butt summer?
So fun fact, banana allergens are almost the same as ragweed allergens, and I'm allergic to ragweed. So I can't have
Oh.
bananas during
What
summer.
the fuck is ragweed?
It's a type of
It's
weed.
a weed.
Yep.
Mhm.
So, anyways,
You guys are
As-
so wise.
as you guys, you guys are going to go into the fort?
I mean,
Because at the very least, if it's still painfully quiet out here, and at the very least inside the fort, you might be able to get up to some elevation to get a better vantage to figure out what the fuck happened.
I'm gonna look over to Elias and ask, it wasn't like this when you left it, was it?
He looks at the corpses and he goes, No, the last time I was here, he gestures to them, they were not. And, well, they retook this fort probably about 6 months ago.
Did you know any of them?
He gestures to the general. I know of him. I fought against his force, his soldiers numerous times, but never here. So I don't know why he's here. But I am glad he's dead.
Amen. Is Amen D&D accurate?
We'll say it is.
Okay. What does amen even mean? I mean, I get its usage, but
Roughly means so be it.
you know what? I already say so be it, so that's on brand.
I have spoken.
So apparently, we're learning a lot of things today, kids. It is apparently a
Yep.
Hebrew word derived from the root meaning to be firm, or fixed, or sure. So yeah, so be it.
So be it.
Dropping facts about words,
Words,
etymology.
manners.
I use words, I use them quite a bit. Some people tell me too much.
I use words a lot. Do I use them effectively and efficiently? No.
Oh hell no.
Never.
I use them like a toddler with a crayon. Okay.
They don't go anywhere near the lines.
Ow, you got a purple one.
So
Damn.
anyway.
Oh, Sean, I asked you a question.
Oh, what was that?
It's in Discord. Because I
Oh.
don't trust myself typing whispered messages.
Okay. that is fair, but because the streamer mode is on, I do not. All right, roll me a relevant check.
Ooh.
Oh.
Well, that was really, really good, but I also need you to roll me the other relevant check.
Oh.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. So you'll have to. You tell me when you would like to try to do all that.
Okay.
So, as you guys, so are we heading into the fort itself?
As
Through
many
the front
would.
door? Okay. What is the order in which we are going in?
Oh fuck.
This is all relevant information because
Being the fucking suicidal maniac I am going, because if anybody's going to get sneak attacked, it's the guy with the health bar.
that is very
And
valid.
I'm right behind him.
And
Having
I'm
stand in the back.
I'm gonna want Elias to help guide me, and obviously, Totar, you said you'd be close.
Well, I mean, Elias will be the last one in just in case something comes from the backside.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I want to
basically-
be the sec.
Yeah,
I want to be the second last one, and I want to have one look and see if I can see my brother.
So as you basically, I wanted to ask who wanted to go first because Elias was going to bookend however we did it. Either
Mhm.
if for whatever reason, Vernon and Totar weren't going to be the first ones in, then Elias would.
Hmm.
But seeing as you guys are going to be the first ones in, Elias is going to be the last in. That way, if something happens from the backside, it's got to go through him before it can get to the squishies.
Yeah.
I
We
would.
protect our squishes.
I was gonna say Celeste would either be in the middle or near the back, given how she feels and is recovering.
Yeah. And Lucky, did you say you were going to go in right after them, or were you going to be second to last?
I'll be second to last if Elias is going to be the last one,
Yeah.
and that's when the thing will happen.
Okay. All right.
I don't want to know what the thing is.
All right. So.
Right?
Well, we don't know in character.
All right. So as you guys are going in, I'm going to have I need Celeste to roll me a perception check with disadvantage
Delightful.
because you're
Oh.
kind of sick, but you're also focusing ahead. All right, that's really good. But yeah, so
Yep.
you go in as you guys are all going in. Give me a second. As you guys are going in, probably right before Lucky and Elias come in after everyone else is when you guys, Totar and Vernon, you guys are probably in the middle of this courtyard, which you recognize vividly as being effectively the town square, because the well is still there in the middle, or near the middle, like in the middle of the courtyard. The only building that you vaguely recognize from your youth is the central command of this fort, which is the mayor's house repurposed and refortified. Everything else has been effectively demolished or perverted in such a way into barracks and whatnot that they're not recognizable as the buildings they might have been before. But as you guys get there, looking about, trying to spot anything, I'm going to keep your perception, because again, you're feeling under the weather, Celeste. But I would like for the rest of you to roll me perceptions real quick.
I'm a roll that one.
Ass off. I'm still going to laugh my ass off, because that's not an at one. Damn.
I got close.
Oh, I accidentally rolled that with advantage.
Well,
But,
unfortunately, you got Nolly's roll.
Yeah.
He got the nat one.
I've gotten all the people's bad rolls. Have you not noticed this?
It's okay.
I've got some really good rolls tonight.
You know what? You all can have your rolls back, okay? I want mine, okay? Getting these low numbers is not cool.
Poor.
My guy's a bumbling idiot right now, just basically flinging his arms around, trying to figure out where he's going.
It's okay. Ebony rolled good for everybody.
So,
Like hell you did.
Ebony rolled a nat 20.
Oh, I
So
thought you rolled a 1.
no, she was calling for a 1, and then you stole it.
Oh, okay. That's what you meant when you said I got Ebony's roll.
Yeah, you stole it from her.
I thought you meant that we got the same roll.
No. No, she rolled a nat 20. So you actually see it right before Cal stands up from cover, as he kind of waves some fire out of his hand. As you realize, as you guys came in, like he waves the fire out of his hand. And he goes, "It's okay, everyone. I think we're safe." And as he steps out into the light, as it's probably about midday now, he steps out into the light, and you see some other heads popping up from various points of cover. Everybody here looks rough as shit. Like Cal's actually kind of limping slightly as he's heading over to you guys.
Ebony's like kind of running from where she's at.
You see Severos and Pepper kind of come around a corner. She's walking. She's not flying at the moment. Which that's an oddity. And you see there's also several soldiers from the Telrian military here. And everybody is looking very, very rough. And as you guys are moving more into the center of this courtyard and reconnoitering, reconnecting with your friends, Ebony, just as you get to Cal, you notice something out of the corner of your eye, and you turn. And over by the north gate, because you guys approached the south gate, over by the north gate, which is currently closed, there is a pile of corpses.
She just kind of closes her eyes real quick, takes a slightly deep breath, not in the same direction.
Like, it's far enough away that you're not going to smell it, but it's a sizable mass.
She kind of like looks towards at least Celeste at this point, based off of what happened outside the south gate. She kind of just like, Celeste, turn your head that way.
Yeah, so Celeste would be immediately doing that. Maybe even looking down at the ground.
But as you guys are gathering together, Cal kind of, you know what? Let me see something. Let me roll something here.
Also, if he's talking, Ebony is probably going to be taking stock of everybody's injuries while still kind of listening.
He comes up and he failed his wisdom save as he throws his arms around you, unapologetically.
Just kind of wraps her arms around him and pats his back. I missed you too.
I'll be honest, I genuinely didn't know if I'd get to see you again. As he looks towards the north. I didn't think they'd ever stop.
How many were there? She's just kind of like still patting, like, I didn't expect the hug, but she's not
like he's
scrambling to get out either.
You like you could feel a tremor, like he's shaking a little. He was sufficiently spooked, and as you take stock of injuries, roll me a medicine check.
I'm kind
And you know what? With that nat 20, I'm going to give you advantage.
Oh. Okay. You said medicine, right?
Yes.
Mm.
That's fucking consistent. You're not certain exactly how severely, at least in his case. Most of his injuries are not superficial. Like, he's got a couple of scrapes, a couple of scratches. But there's a lot of broken ribs. And now that, like, as he's releasing the hug a bit, you realize that his left arm, when he went to give you the hug, it wasn't as firm or as sturdy of a grasp with that arm, as his left arm is completely dislocated. And now, now that you're actually able to look at him and appraise him up close, his nose is quite clearly broken, and he has a very, very severe bruising around his right orbit. And you can even see the sign of dried blood coming out of his right ear. Severus Severus and Pepper are walking. She's supporting him. He's quite clearly got a broken leg.
Oh.
She's missing one of her 4 wings.
Oh. I think before we go into any more detail at what's happened,
We're missing somebody.
1, 2, 3.
Hey, Lucky, roll me a perception.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
I've been kind of quiet, but I do have something I want to do.
We will get to you in just a moment.
You're good.
16.
You notice, much like Vernon just said, I don't know if you said it above game or in character, about we're missing someone. But you know keenly, we're missing someone very important to you.
We're missing multiple someones.
Where's my brother?
Yes. And also, when you say that is when I will allow that 14 to come into play from that advantage, Vernon. That's when you realize, wait, where's Elwyn?
Exactly.
To which Cal kind of looks at you guys and goes, come. Actually, if it wasn't, as he looks to you, Vernon, if it wasn't for Elwyn, and he looks over at you, Lucky, Zolig might not still be with us.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
And
visibly let out a large sigh of relief.
as you guys head in to the structure, and as you guys are heading in, considering you guys managed to come in completely unmolested, you see that there's several archers that are coming out from their hiding places. They had, like, when Cal first came out and said that, you know, it's okay, you saw a bunch of archers kind of, you know, lean into the light as you see them loosening the tension on their draws that they had on their bows as they were ready to put holes in you guys.
Oh, wonderful.
But now they scurry out to get up to some elevation to keep an eye out to see, you know, is the threat really gone? So as you guys head in to their makeshift hospital, you see there's so many injured. So many. But Elwyn is amongst the various Carugans running around trying to administer what healing they can, tending to wounds as best as they can. And other than the fact that he looks very weary from a very visible, limited amount of rest, he looks uninjured. He's just run ragged as hell. But on one of the beds, Lucky, you see a very, very bandaged up, borderline mummified Goliath.
I'm immediately over there.
He looks up, you know, he kind of slowly opens one eye. The other eye is hidden by bandages. And he kind of gives you a lopsided grin as he goes, "Well then, big brother, it's good to see that you are vertical, not horizontal like Tolik."
Sometimes there's nothing wrong with being horizontal, but in this manner, you got caught. I'm glad you're okay.
"Oh, I did not just get caught. I flew."
Oh. And I'm just gonna pull a stool and just sit next to him in the bed and just listen to his story of what the hell happened.
So, the story will come out, but I'm going to see what everybody else is doing during this.
I would like to say Ebony is helping and probably blowing every single one of her spell slots to help.
Oh, I will also throw Ebony my decanter of endless water just so that you've got fresh water to play with.
Ooh, very nice, very nice.
And I will say one of the spells she's probably going to use just for people that are a little less, like, that aren't stuck in beds. She's probably just going to have a healing spirit off to help some of the people with little, like, the less serious injuries.
All right.
I would say Celeste would give herself like a moment or two, like outside, away from, you know, the injuries to kind of rebalance and maybe even like take a moment to say a prayer, and then she would go back in and trying to would work with Ebony on some healing spells, maybe occasionally trying to like close her eyes as she's casting.
Because some of these wounds are, some of the beds have curtains drawn around them because of how severe the injuries are. That, you know, it's a lot harder for other people to focus on healing when they are stuck watching someone living a literal horror story. So you guys are working on that. Totar, what are you going to be doing during this?
Well, Totar would walk in, see the chaos of what's going on. He looked down the beast. Beast. Those who are struggling mentally could use a furry friend. Help.
Yeah, he looks at you for a moment. Looks at everyone else, I would like for you to roll me an animal handling.
Everyone else roll an animal handling?
No, just him, because
Okay.
for him when dealing with Beast, because Beast doesn't actually understand the words he's using. Animal handling is his persuasion to get his intentions across in such a way that Beast is able to interpret it potentially correctly. And with that, he, Beast kind of looks at everybody, looks at you, looks into the room, sniffs the air, and then puts his snoot to the ground, starts making his way around, kind of sniffing the ground, and eventually sits down by someone's bed and noses their hand gently until they start petting him, and then he just kind of sits there, and you can see like it starts off as like a gentle, like just the tips of their fingers stroking the top of his head, and after a few moments it increases to like the entirety of his fingers, to probably after about 5 minutes there's a full palm touching the animal stroke of a pet, as this person kind of slowly reconnects to the reality that they're sitting in a more stable manner rather than full disassociation. As Beast is temporarily taking on the role of therapy dog.
Tar slightly smiles. Then he goes back to sternness as he looks around, looks for frantic people running around trying to get to place the pointy carrying thing. Walks up to one of them. I can help. May not be good with medicine, but I am strong and I can carry many things. Point to what you need and I shall grab it.
And they kind of look at you for a moment, startled, because, well, you are big and you are relatively loud, but not necessarily in a offensive way, but just in a slightly intimidating way, because you are a big man. They're like, yeah, actually, yeah. And they put you to work. Vernon.
I do as I'm told, like a good boy.
Vernon, what are you doing during this?
After stopping by Elwyn and at least checking on him, which I guess that would be my first action.
Yeah, he's like I said, he's unharmed, fully unharmed. Did not take a single point of damage. But his spell slots completely spent. His mental slots completely spent. But he's keeping on going because these people need his help more than he needs rest.
Gotcha. I'm gonna at least offer my lay on hands that I have and any cure wounds spells that I have, which I have 3 slots.
Out of curiosity, how many points of lay on hands do you have available to you?
I have 20.
Amazing. Like the moment that you offer your aid, Elwyn kind of stares at you for a moment, as you can see that it takes him a few moments as he's basically doing the mental calculations. Wait, I know. Come. And he takes you to a couple people in particular. And he asks, and he's going to assist you with doing medicine checks on a few of these individuals. So roll me a medicine check with advantage.
All right. Once I find medicine.
That is horrifying.
Look at
that. That is genuinely horrifying.
Not great.
I would like to remind you, you do have inspirations.
I will use an inspiration. So does that mean I roll once, or do I roll with advantage?
You would redo the whole thing.
Okay. Let's hope it's not worse.
Hey, there we go.
Okay.
Okay, so with that, as you guys are going over them, he cautions you not to just immediately start using it, as there's all sorts of injuries that you find as you and Evany and Celeste are making your ways through, and also on that note, either Ebony and Celeste, you guys can either roll me medicine checks individually, or you guys can collaborate and have one of you roll with advantage. I will leave that up to you.
I mean,
Plus, you might have a better one because you're wisdom based.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say I have a bonus of 4. I'm not proficient, but I have a bonus of 4 with it.
I'm not proficient either, so I think Ebony will help you with the medicine checks.
All right.
Okay. Just one roll?
Yeah, one roll at advantage.
Alright.
Sweet. Okay, awesome. Great. So as you guys are looking over these wounds, there's tons of lacerations, lots of stab wounds, puncture wounds, slash wounds from axes, swords, knives, oh my. But eventually, one set of wounds catches your attention. In particular, a bite mark. A literal chunk of flesh ripped from a soldier's arm.
Like a human bite mark or a beast bite mark?
Roll me survival.
Oh.
Can I help with her? Can I help her with
I
that
want
roll?
I want all three of you, Ebony, Celeste, and Vernon, to roll me individual survivals.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
really terrible.
Oh.
There it is.
I'm to turn off advantage.
Mm,
Oh, yeah. Okay, so yeah, you're not sure. Ebony and Celeste, you guys aren't sure as you guys are looking over them, and you see it's not just one person with these kind of injuries. As you guys are looking over them, and eventually you guys and Vernon kind of meet up at the same individual, who coincidentally is Talig. As you guys are checking his wounds, and he too has a large chunk bitten out of him. His wasn't his arm. His was actually kind of like near the kidney area on his back.
Oh.
oh.
Holy hell.
Oh my
Vernon,
gosh,
as
we're
you're looking-
fighting
as you-
orcas.
As you're looking at this, you're like, yeah, that is very clearly not a beast bite. That is a humanoid bite.
Ebony just looks.
There's been slight variations in some of these bites. Some of them had some tusks, like so it might have been a orc or half orc. That bite was a little smaller, so it might have been like a halfling or a gnome, maybe a goblin. But at the end of the day, the overall structure and placement and overall hinging shape, and the fact that it wasn't like it's all been humanoid, not long like a muzzle of a beast, like if beast bit someone.
Can I look around, like, if these were bites to kill, they would likely be around the neck.
I mean, there's at least 2 people that were bit there, but most of the bites were almost like bites of opportunity. Like wherever the assailant was able to get their teeth is where they bit.
I'm afraid these were bites to feed.
And I will say, with those medicine checks, you guys, especially Celeste's, if I basically, by having you guys roll it at advantage like that, I was effectively running a group medicine check to see how well you guys would be able to discern things. Because you guys rolled effectively high enough, you were able to determine whose wounds were festering because they weren't able to be treated quick enough. There is a small number of individuals who effectively are diseased.
Yay.
Hijacking sheets for a moment just to see what we got available spell-wise.
If I know what's happening, I don't like it. Not at all.
Don't
I
worry.
don't have it prepared though.
I know you don't have it prepared. Neither of you do.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
I can get it prepared for a long rest.
We both can.
Yeah.
All right, let me see here. Okay, so
You get rabies, and you get rabies, and you get rabies.
so
Sorry.
as it stands, there is a total of 7 individuals that you have determined have some kind of ailment. You know, they're slightly feverish, you know, sweating more than normal, especially considering we're in a cold climate. And yes, you guys are indoors. It's, you know, we're right on the cusp of winter. Like, there was a couple of snowflakes drifting down as you guys came inside. But there's, you know, individuals other than like Elias and the medical crew here who are sweating because they're running their happy asses off. Everybody else in the bed is either covered in blankets because, well, it's cold as shit, or they are sweating bullets, which makes no sense.
Is Tolik sweating bullets?
Yes.
Oh wait, he's mummified, so he would be
Yeah.
regardless.
Yeah, but the thing is he doesn't have blankets on him. He's slightly mummified, but there's no blankets on him, and he is sweating.
Is he conscious?
Oh, he's conscious. He was regaling about the battle, which, in particular, his portion of it, after you know the first couple waves of conflict, because when they arrived just as the group of soldiers that took the fort, you know, managed to start their attack and actually burst through the south gate and repelled the occupying force. And then, after holding out for a few hours, the previously occupying force had pulled out and started moving around a flank. You know, they split their forces up. They were going to try to come in from the north and the south because there's only 2 entrances into the fort. And they believe that the Telrians did not have the forces required to properly defend against a, you know, battle on 2 fronts. And then the Arisian reinforcements arrived. Unfortunately, the Arisian reinforcements did not care who they were attacking, as they fell upon the Arisians first and then continued to attack the camp itself afterwards.
Fucking savage. Does he mention at any point during this entire story how he got bitten? Because I've seen these 2 look at it.
Yeah.
So I know something's up with it.
So eventually, when the Arisians managed to actually breach the North Gate, he was among the group that was helping hold their forces there. You know, there was him, Cal. It was your group that was helping stem the flow of enemies coming in, and a particularly large man came in and batted Tolig aside like he was nothing. Sent him, you know, ass over kettle. And when he came to moments later, after getting his shit effectively rocked, he came to because of a sharp, searing pain in his back, as he sees a man missing his legs from mid-thigh down, was biting into his flesh right before Cal came over and ripped him away, and he kind of trails off there as he kind of shudders, remembering the visceral actions that Cal performed. But with that said,
Fuck.
Vernon, I would like for you to read carefully the factors of your lay on hands.
I was about to say, at least.
Particularly starting from where it says alternatively,
Alternatively,
which is a
I didn't
little
know
more
that
than
there was
halfway
an
down.
alternative. Okay.
Yeah, because I was about to say, effectively, Vernon probably has the best thing for the people that are in the worst spot right now. At least until me and Celeste can take a long rest.
You right?
Yeah.
I can cure multiple diseases and neutralize multiple poisons with the use of lay on hands. And it requires 5 lay on hands.
5 points to remove 1 poison or 1 disease. So theoretically, if you had one person that had, 3 diseases and 1 poison in them, you could slap them for all 20 points and remove all 4 things.
Gotcha.
That said, you know that there are 7 individuals that are dealing with some kind of affliction. Of those that have been bitten. Several of the others, no issues whatsoever. Even though they were bitten. There's no fever with them.
I'm gonna look to, Elwyn, Celeste, and Ebony, and hope that they can help me find who is the most sick. Perhaps the most diseased, least likely to survive without intervention.
Alright, so with that, mostly because, actually, that said, I think I will actually, at this point, okay, so, I will have Elwyn roll. I will do this publicly to you guys. I would like, actually, we're going to do it publicly all the way around the table. Other than Totar and Lucky, because, unless Lucky, do you wish to participate in trying to suss out who is the most riddled with disease, as it were?
No, because I would immediately think my brother needs it first.
He's literally wrapped in bandages. I think he's probably pretty high up on the list.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why he's wrapped up is the fact that he's got about 8 broken ribs and probably a couple fractured vertebrae. Both legs,
Gotcha.
1 arm, a cracked jaw. Which is part of why his grin is lopsided.
But I would still think,
you
my
are
brother.
You are biased, which is totally valid.
That's why nurses can't usually, what's it called? Treat their own
child, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Treat their own family, yeah. So, all right, that said, Celeste, Ebony, and Vernon, I want each of you to roll me a medicine check. We're effectively doing a group. Yeah, we're effectively rolling a group medicine check. That is extremely unfortunate.
Oh.
Yay for consistency.
Roll it public?
Yes, roll it to public. I will say, you do have an inspiration, Celeste.
I rolled a 20.
That's very
I
nice.
want to keep the inspiration for something super, super, super critical.
Figuring out who has the most seriously diseased isn't super critical.
I mean, when you put it like that. Oh, fine. I will burn
You
my
don't have
inspiration.
to. You don't have to.
I already rolled a 20. The check cannot be higher than that.
Well, no.
I mean-
We're doing a group
Ooh, it
check.
can be.
It is an average.
Oh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that one brings that down.
Yeah.
that one
yeah,
hurts you
A
guys
lot.
a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So I will re-roll. I will burn my inspiration and re-roll.
That
That's
is
much
significantly
better.
better.
Yeah.
So that said,
Uh,
I will say anytime that we do these group rolls, if if an NPC is assisting as part of the group check, any of you can use an inspiration to re-roll their roll if they roll a garbage roll that you don't like.
Fair.
And also, Samuel may have redeemed for Bane, but he did not redeem an actual channel point reward for it. Wait, did I not have him turned on? I think I should have him turned on.
Dun, dun.
I don't have him turned on. Oh.
Oh no.
Well,
Oh,
I also don't have the good ones turned on either. The inspirations
oh, no, what a
and
shame.
Wait, does this mean we can bane the DM?
I mean, you guys could, but I roll so much that it probably doesn't really matter in the long run.
Fair enough.
Can I ban Samo?
Unfortunately, no, because I don't have anything I could do to enforce that on him.
Anytime he redeems a bane, we have to roll 1d20, and if it's like an odd number, if we get the bane. If it's an even, it's not a bane.
Okay, there we go. They're back on. So we got inspirations, we got banes, we've got blesses, we've got options for channel point burning. All right, so, but yes, like I said, if an NPC botches a roll as part of a group roll, anyone that has an inspiration that wants to can use it to help anybody's NPC, to help skew the balance back in your guys' favor.
That's fair.
That said, Elwin's contribution is a really good roll.
Ooh.
Yo.
Okay.
Aw, thanks, Sample.
Aw.
Oh, no. Oh, that's... oh, that's messed up. That's messed up.
Sample loves us.
Oh. Oh, that's really funny.
I probably asked this before, but can we spend channel points?
Oh, he just... That is unnecessary. You absolute fucking menace. Oh, he has bribed the DM with a gift sub. Holy shit.
Oh, son of a whore.
Ooh.
Oh my god. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see if I can find an opportunity for a roll against them. Damn.
Okay, flashbacks. I'm getting flashbacks. I don't like this.
Yep.
Thank you for the gift sub, Samo. So with the party average for this check of a 16, as you guys are checking the different patients, Talig is not the worst off, but he is in the middle of the pack, as it were. He's easily either the fourth or fifth most dire, but there's three individuals that are clear cut far worse off. Like they are, one of them is actually starting to throw up, and it looks like he's throwing up tar.
Okay. I need to ask the question. Has Lucky encountered the undead before?
No.
So he doesn't know what the hell's going on.
No. All you knew is he got bit by someone, and it could just be an infection of the wound. That may very well still be what it is. It may not be anything to do with undead. It might be poisons. There's no telling what this is. And that is both above game and in game. You guys have no idea what this could be.
Before I even thought about the undead, I thought about the fact that it might have been some crazed starvation. That's kind of my hunch in character. Because I said that those wounds are probably for feeding because they were not around.
They're all Wendigos now.
Now, this isn't your game.
Here we go again.
Sorry, I got mixed up.
That's later. Anyways,
I can't wait to get out of that Dungeon and Builds game. I really cannot. I got things to build.
so like I said, one person is actively like spewing, like it looks like tar. It's thick and it's so dark. It's almost obsidian in color. If you go close and you really look at it, if you have the audacity to stick your hand in the bile he just spewed up to actually get a good look at it, it's blood. It's just horribly coagulated, almost chunky blood that he is spewing, as that particular individual is starting to hemorrhage internally. Mostly because he's failed every single fucking con save.
Ooh.
It's the sea rats.
Yeah.
Bubonic plague.
The next guy, like, so the person who has it the worst, on top of spewing the tar-like blood, is also, he's got, his eyes are so bloodshot that the sclera is almost all red. And he's got basically tissue stuffed in his nose because his nose won't stop bleeding as blood vessels are rupturing. If they had the technology for checking blood pressure, his blood pressure would be, like a bazillion over, too much. The next couple of guys, their eyes are very similar, not quite as fully reddened, but they're getting there. And one of them also has, his nose stuffed with tissue because the bleeding won't stop. The other one, as you're talking to him, checking him over, the nosebleed starts. The one eye of Tolig's that you can see is very, very bloodshot, with a small pooling of blood in the sclera that is starting to spread while you're talking to him, Lucky.
I don't like this.
And the person who is least bad off genuinely just has a fever and a little bit of the shakes. Everybody else has that plus.
The only thing I could really do is use my lay on hands for the 4 sickest, including Tolig, because he's the 4th.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, there was one other
at
guy
least-
that is almost as bad, possibly worse, depending on how you look at the symptoms. But they're fairly neck and neck. That's like it's like measuring an inch when you're comparing miles.
Yep.
And I at least know for Ebony, like, she'll probably stay up watching the ones that can't get healed tonight via the lay on hands to potentially try to help the next day.
So,
Wait a minute.
oh,
Do health potions help with disease?
no. There are potions that you guys will be able to get eventually that are,
Okay.
literally panaceas, which
Okay, because I looked up health potion, and I guess this is pulled up something called the elixir of health. That is not.
I was like, I don't think we have access to that kind of potion yet, though.
Yeah.
Look, Google's AI shit kind of gave me the wrong answer there.
yeah, no, an elixir of health is literally the panacea that I was talking about. But yeah, so you're going to use your lay on hands on the 4 worst individuals.
Yes.
All right. So as you as you approach, I'm going to assume you go to the worst one first and then make your way down the list as it were. Right?
Yeah.
Alright, so, as you lay on hands the guy that is visibly the sickest, like, you feel the magic leave you into him. And then suddenly he just heaves, and a whole bunch of that tar comes out. And then on the second heave, it is just straight blood. Like, not the thick, tarry, coagulated shit, but actual blood and bile. And then he looks at it, he goes, I don't feel so. And he starts to collapse.
I'm gonna catch him if I can. Doesn't need any more injuries.
Yeah. All right. So you catch him. Is there anything else you may wish to do? He just did puke up a whole lot of blood.
I mean, I have cure wounds. I don't know if that can help with replacing that.
Would you like to cast it on him?
Yeah.
All right. So, you can go ahead and roll it public if you want, but regardless of how much you heal him, as soon as the second wave of magic leaves your hands into his body, his eyes flutter open, and immediately the color in his face, in his skin, brightens as blood rushes back to where it belongs. And you see his sclera, his eyes are still bloodshot after this, but the red, just the free blood, is almost immediately reabsorbed back into his body. As he gives a full, just glorious breath. And at that point, it's really consciously aware to you how bad these guys are gasping and wheezing with this disease carving its way through their bodies. Because just to let you know, if you hadn't cured him right then, he was going to die. He was at 0 hit points.
Gotcha.
But at least he was going to die disease-free.
Yeah.
As you go to the next guy, the next two, because they're really still pretty bad off, they don't collapse like he did, but they do the same thing. They double over, puke out a whole bunch of this thick, it's like blood pudding. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen that, but it's dark, it's very gelatinous, it's very thick and goopy, and
I've seen worse.
that is what the dark stuff is that they're vomiting up. And then
Black pudding.
yeah, basically. And then immediately afterwards is a spout of just fresh, clean looking blood, other than the fact that, it's coming out of an orifice that blood is not supposed to come out of in that kind of quantity.
I don't know what kind of black pudding you guys are eating, but it's definitely not gelatinous over here.
Definitely tastes better than this.
But
Yeah,
these guys do fall back onto their beds, but they look so much more relieved if at that point, if Ebony's kind of carting around her healing spirit as you're going target to target, as it washes over them, their pallor restores. They look so much better. Talig, when you get to him, as you've watched it happen 3 times now, I'm going to go on a limb and assume you probably help support him up, give him a bucket to hark out whatever he's going to hark out, and apologize in advance for how much this is probably going to hurt.
Oh, I'm going to be holding a bucket. I'll help as much as I can with Tolik.
So as you cast it on him, the lay on hands to remove the disease, because he wasn't as far along as the other 3, he was progressing, but he wasn't as far along as them. It's like the most righteous, bloody loogie ever that he horks out. It's not a big old spout of it like the other guys, as they were actively in full hemorrhage internally. He was about to start when you hit him with the lay on hands. You spared him some of the worst of the disease. But now comes the hardest part of your time doing triage here in this infirmary, in this hospital. It is going to be keeping everybody stabilized until you guys are able to do this again for the remaining 3 individuals who are dealing with this disease. It'll take a few days for the severity of these injuries that the rest of your party of NPCs have been afflicted with before they'll be back to 100%. The magic does help accelerate the recovery of the broken bones and so on. But for others, namely like Pepper, she is unfortunately going to be grounded for a while.
Yeah, because she's wing regrowth. Ugh.
That's if she can.
I know.
Maybe she's like a lizard. Maybe grow back.
So, I will say, during the next probably about 12 hours, which will include the the long rest that you guys will take going into the morning. Oh, go ahead.
Something mild I wanted to potentially do.
All right, I was actually getting ready to ask what you guys were going to want to do over the next several hours.
I'm gonna go up to the top tower where the sentries are and ask them if there's anybody that they knew of that fell in battle whose bodies I could so they don't get left here in this gore.
So probably around the time that you get ready to head out to do that, Totar, the medical staff there, had finished abusing your strength, as it were.
Thank you. I've been sitting quietly for a while, so.
I'm sorry, I didn't have a whole lot of roleplay available for that in particular.
Well, then I shall generate my own. I have witnessed all this gruesomeness that's been happening around me, watched vileness. I've nature born. I live in the nature. When wounds come to pass, I reach to nature for my medicines. As I see all this happening, I think, and can I do a nature check if I think of any plants that might help with some of this that I've would have witnessed that would be of somewhat of similar nature?
Any natural antiseptics?
Something that would help boost their dwindling supplies, what they have here.
Give me a survival.
Survival?
Survival or nature, your call.
I'll go.
You know of some that could help, but you're not necessarily in the right environment for some of those herbs. You're up in a fairly frigid tundra, and most of your experiences from a more temperate forested zone.
Would Totar potentially communicate any of this to me?
He'd be mumbling to himself as he's basically standing there looking at everything, scratching his chin.
As he's rattling off the names of different medicinal herbs from further to the south.
Yep. Inquire about what is going through his head. Because every opinion here is valuable.
You see, much disaster has happened. Sick, ill. Nature tends to make its own remedies from its soil and grows. Was hoping to think maybe something that may not be in a bottle or a vial might be able to help them, well, get through this. With at least a little bit more ease. But out here, it's going to be mostly roots. And I cannot seem to put my finger on the proper roots that would work good for you.
I'm gonna. Where is it? There's a thing they have. There we go. I'm gonna pull a gold coin out of my pocket. The one that has the visage of the crazy cackling man who can summon things. And I'm gonna place it into Totar's hand.
As it's placed in my hand, I stare at it.
You remember that this is the coin that a particularly eccentric individual, Count Marcel, had given to the party to call upon him should you ever require to trade. Especially for things that might be more difficult to acquire.
In our specific region.
Well, he just means in general, but...
Yeah. I mean, that was more of a push in the hint's direction.
I nod. Tap him on the head like he's a good dog. You've done well.
I don't particularly mind. Just gonna nod, but I'm sticking around because nobody should have to deal with Marcel by themselves.
I think Marcel will hopefully be more willing to help. Otherwise, we drag him to make him help. He smiles slightly.
Agreed.
And I will summon the Great Merchant.
All right, so where are you planning on summoning him?
Well, I'm going to walk outside of the... where I'm not in the middle of everybody, where everybody can gawk, but he's still going to be in well sight of what's happening around him.
I don't know if you want to summon him near the gore, unless you want him to up his guts the minute we summon him.
Oh, let him feel why we're calling upon him.
So
let him understand the true nature.
So
where do you want to call him? Or do you want to? Are you talking about you're going to go over to where the pile of corpses are at the north gate? Or
no. I'm going to stay near the triage because my main focus is sick people, not dead people. Dead people we can't help. Sick people we can. Yes. This way he sees.
Okay.
He's that we're not just calling for no reason.
Okay.
But it's not going to be in the middle of it.
Okay, so what he said to do, and I don't remember if he actually said this. I may have thought it, but we may have been too wrapped up in the roleplay. But is you take it and you just flip it like a coin flip over your shoulder.
So I take it, flip it flip it over my shoulder.
And
fucking seagulls.
You don't
hear
it
really squeaky.
Oh, dear me. It really sucks that they're protected there.
I know, right?
So, as the coin flips,
if I get hold of anything.
You don't hear it land. As Vernon, because you're kind of facing Totar, you see the coin leave his hand over his shoulder, and from behind him, because you're kind of looking past him, where his body blocks your line of sight, you see an arm shoot out and catch the coin as Marcel steps into view. And he's holds the coin, kind of does the little coin thing where it like walks up his fingers. And he goes, I knew you would not be able to resist the allure of Marcel. It is I. What can I do you for this day? As he holds out the coin back to you.
As I pluck the coin back, I look over my shoulder towards everything. We need help.
And the smile kind of falters, and he looks and he goes, help. Marcel
Do not
is
worry.
of the
Go.
business type. And, well, he kind of looks at the Triar Center. Mortality is most unfortunate and unkind. I do not understand how you do it. But if it is help that you need, in the form of me providing ways for you to acquire what you need, then Marcel is more than happy to help. Just ask what it is you need, and I will see what I can do.
Well, it depends on how much of... Oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna take out a piece of paper and like some chalk or ink or whatever it is that we would draw with, and I'm gonna hand it to Totar so he can at least give a visual detail of what he's looking for, if the name is not easy to find.
And while you may know the names of some of the stuff that you're looking for, Totar, they might be names that either you have given them or names that you have heard from others regionally, and it may not be the same universally.
Exactly. No, I get exactly where it's coming from with that.
I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick though.
Go ahead.
Please not on my feet.
Remember to wash your hands.
As I look at them and I start describing different types of medicinal plants that help with nausea, pain, helps with bleeding, different things, and then I start trying to draw out, in my meat sausages of fingers, what they somewhat look like.
All right. Give me a performance check.
Oh, you're a horrible person.
Okay, so
You could ask the very nimble one over here to draw for you.
Yeah, but do you know what he's trying to get you to draw?
Again, I have to performance it to you.
Yeah.
Again,
No matter
Totar.
no matter what, Totar would have to perform it. So,
Okay.
but so as like he's looking over your shoulder as you're drawing. No. See, that one normally has 3 leaves. And those roots, they kind of do this little twisty twist. Yes, like that. Mm-hmm.
As I slightly cock an eye back, do I have to draw them, or do you know what I speak of? Time is money, as you have stated multiple times. And so why are you wasting time?
Because entertainment is priceless. But
I'm
no,
back.
I do not know if I can find exactly what you are looking for in these herbs. At least not very quickly. But
Then how about medicine?
he slowly smiles, and you see him like he does this overly dramatic head arc as he does this very deep, like it's not even a sniff, it is a full-on inhale of the air around as he arcs his head, sweeping his head face towards his right shoulder and arcing it up and around until his head faces aiming towards his left shoulder in one big, almost grotesque sniff. And then his eyes snap open looking at Vernon.
Hi there.
You have something for trade.
Yes, I do.
May I see what
You
it
may.
is? I can smell the shiny. It smells
gonna-
like it is beautiful.
I'm gonna reach into my pocket, and I'm going to pull out the. Can I get back to my character sheet real quick? I forgot the name of it. It's Star Amethyst?
A star ruby. Star Sapphire. Star Sapphire.
Star Sapphire. gonna take out the star sapphire, and I'm gonna, hold it up a bit so he can see the light shine through it,
Oh,
and then I will place it in his hand.
and he takes it, and like you place it in the palm of his hand, and his fingers arch inhumanly far back, like he's afraid to touch it too directly, as he just very tips of his fingers kind of shifting it around, turning every which way to let the light dance through it. Ah, this is most lovely. Let us see what I can provide that will be of adequate exchange for your lovely trinket there. Ah, you need medicines, no?
Medicines will make his powers much more potent for a time.
There's a very you see him reaching out, and when he said medicines, and he grabs onto the handles of what looks like it might have been a like a medicine cart or something, like a medical gurney or trolley, where they would have just shelves of medicines for carting down the medical ward. But that's all that appears. It's just the handles, and everything else is kind of misty and foggy until you mention that last part. And then he slowly side-eyes you.
What was that last part again?
And he starts to smile, and that smile stretches a lot farther than that mouth should be allowed to go.
Uh-oh.
You said or something to enhance what?
You wish to
Your
enhance powers?
His hands heal when they touch. It is more useful to have him to be able to do it more and more frequently. Because I feel this won't be the last time we have to come across atrocity.
And he has a very coy smirk. I do believe an arrangement can be made. But it all depends on what it is you are willing to trade. For my dear, you must understand that while that trinket you have is most amazing, it is not that good as far as to get the gift that you seek. All magic comes at a price.
You're telling me.
You waste words while people die behind you. Speak of mortality is a horrible thing, but yet you constantly speak in circles. Speak straight and tell us what you seek.
He looks past you at the, like, not even in the doorway. He looks, and you could tell the way his eyes are dancing. He's looking through the fucking wall. He goes, "It is fine. No one in there is going to die for at least another 4 hours. Minimum. That one might make it a little longer.
But their pain bothers me. And your voice is starting to scratch a little bit more. So speak quickly."
Oh, you are no fun. And to which he looks once more to Vernon. What would you offer of yourself for me to bless you with increased powers of will in order to bless those around you more efficiently and more generously?
I'm clearly taken off guard by this question. Will need a second.
Can I hear this? Am I in this room?
No, you're inside
Yeah.
the triage center. We are just outside the triage center. Roll me
Oh,
perception.
you're right, the Triage Center.
Okay, I'm gonna roll it, but I was just wondering if I was there or not.
You hear snippets.
Okay, so I can't hear the full thing. That's fine. You're on your own.
You might have heard that last part because Marcel is visibly and audibly excited.
Hold on, I'm gonna roll something for myself. Would I try and... Hold on. No, I wouldn't interfere. Sorry.
Well, I'll start off by saying that I cannot sell my soul or my faith.
Oh no, I do not wish for either of those.
I'll take that cell phone though.
No, my hidden technology.
So, sister, he goes. Perhaps a favor. One that will not jeopardize your morals or your faith. A service to be rendered unto me at a later date. Be
The
it
service is to be determined. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you were done.
the exact service is to be determined, but ranging in the realm of acquiring a artifact for me, or escorting me to a place, or something of those sorts. Perhaps saving someone from something. Well, I don't know. I will have need. I live a long time, and well, he kind of sniffs the air around you. You still have plenty of life ahead of you. So, this can be an investment in a future return. As long as you swear to come to my aid when I ask of you.
I look to Vernon. Make your stipulation to it as well. You leave
Make
it too
what?
open, and I have a feeling he will take advantage of it.
And
Sorry, I didn't
because
hear the
he's
first part of that.
he's go ahead and repeat it, Bill.
I said, Ed, make your stipulations as well to this, because I have a feeling he will take advantage if you leave it too open.
And like
Stipulation.
as he's saying that, like the grin, the really broad Cheshire grin, splits across his face for a moment before resetting back to normal as Totar turns back around. He says he says, once again, I will not do anything. I will not ask you to do anything that would compromise your morals or turn you away from your God. Those are for you to break, not me. I will not have
And
you turn on your friends. I will not have you kick a puppy. Nothing like that.
Okay. That was going to be my next question. If he understood that going against the innocent would literally be going, my God, but he understands that.
He goes, oh no, I know full well who the Allfather, the Sun Father is. I know where he stands. I may not be one of his most favorite people, but I am far from his most hated.
As I look at Vernon, would you like help?
I will not refuse it.
As I look over to the merchant,
His eyes
If he
light up
agrees-
as you look at him.
if he agrees to your term, there will be some conditions. Yes, the moral aptitude of what we face at the time will not be squandered or hurt. But also, the consequences of the actions he performs shall not come to innocent harm later on.
He kind of sits there. He purses his lips for a moment, steeples his fingers in front of his face as he's contemplating. He goes, I would like to counterpoint. If it is an item that I send for you to acquire, if someone else at a later time buys it from me and uses it for ill means, that is not between him and I. But anything
Swapping
that
of
you...
hands of...
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was gonna say anything that swaps hands after it becomes yours is your moral standpoint, and you have to live with the consequences of what that causes.
Then we are in agreement on that front. Is there any other stipulations you wish to lay down?
I would like to understand what I'm getting into, so I understand whether it will actually help in this scenario and others. Like, how exactly will this deal help these in need?
He looks through the wall again, and he goes, that one, that one, that one. The ones who are still... And he looks in the direction of Tullig and then the other three that you healed. And from where you're standing, you can kind of gather that he's looking at the contents of their buckets. As he goes, yes, those three, if you do not take this deal, and assuming you do not buy any potions instead, will die. Probably tonight. At least one of them will. But if you take this deal, you can save them right now.
Is this going to... I'm gonna sort of gesture to my own body. Affect my visage
No, not at all.
or health?
No. I give you only a gift. Something that will help, not harm.
The gift
Totar
is...
slightly smiles.
But I do not wish to give a gift without something in recompense, because that is bad form. That is why we are making an arrangement.
You shouldn't have said anything, Hammer. You almost had him.
What?
Oh no, I know what I'm doing.
I don't know what you're doing.
That's okay.
Oh! It's gonna turn me into a mutated fucking freakazoid, I'm sure.
What is the gift that you grant? Be specific, please. Some of us are a little dim.
I am offering him the ability to bestow his magic more freely.
Magic doesn't come from nowhere.
That is what the price is. That is why you will do me a favor. Because it is an expenditure of my will to be able to grant you this boon. Then eventually you will pay me back. That will make the
Okay,
circle closed.
At above game, just out of curiosity, I want to check out something you said earlier.
All right.
You said that it would be a permanent benefit, like a reusable thing?
Yes. That is why it's got a relatively steep cost if you're going to have to effectively do a fetch quest of some kind or an escort quest of some kind at his behest sometime down the road, and you will not get to say no. But he will make
Okay.
certain that it is not something that would require you to compromise your morals, your ethics, or defy your god.
Or have any backlash effect of...
Oh yeah,
doing
and
so.
no direct backlash.
Gotcha. Well, I determined that my life does not have more value than those at stake, so I will take your offer.
At which point, he extends a hand towards you. Then we have a deal.
Gonna reach out and shake it.
As you clasp his hand, there's an intense warmth, not a painful warmth, but just intense. It kind of sucks that breath out of your lungs for just a moment because you weren't expecting it. And you feel an imprint, a knowing that you have now tied yourself to some limited degree to something much larger than you are.
God, I've become a warlock.
Almost, but not really. Congratulations.
I mean, it's an option.
Congratulations. Your lay on hand pool is effectively doubled.
Jesus Christ.
You now, instead of getting 5, well, actually, it's not fully doubled, but you will have, you will have enough to be able to save the rest of them, or at least
So how much?
the 2 that will be. Let me double check. Double check your sheet.
I have 20 lay on hands right now because it's your level times 5.
So, all right. So it's not actually fully doubled. Your lay on hand pool is now equal to you get an additional 3 per level.
I get an additional 3 per level.
Yeah.
Oh.
You get to add your
You mean
charisma
like-
bonus, so you get 12 more.
Oh. Okay. Wait, but that's not enough to help everybody.
You can save the 2 that will definitely die tonight,
Okay.
and the 3rd one you guys will be able to get in the morning.
Gotcha.
I was about to say, Avony and Celeste can probably watch the one that's not going to be the one that's going to kick the bucket.
So
tonight.
currently your maximum is now 32.
Okay.
Honestly, for some reason, I thought you had an 18 charisma when I first started saying it. But still.
Not yet. But now I have another reason to bump up that charisma.
Yep. So now I'm going to change the math algorithm. That's not the button I wanted to press.
Now, did that deal include the Star Sapphire? Because he still has that in his possession.
Oh, no. He handed that back to you because anytime that you hand him something to inspect, he always returns it to you until it is officially his. And it's not officially his until goods are transferred. So the Star Sapphire is back in your possession. Oh wait, no, I screwed that up. That is the wrong order of operations.
I take it the merchant man poofed away.
Not yet.
Okay.
Until you guys say that your business is concluded with him. So, as he sits there and as you saw this handshake and the surge of energy around you as the pact was made, you also noticed that his eyes, just like it happened very briefly in your first meeting with him, his eyes shifted. The irises are very iridescent, almost pearlescent, and the pupils are slit for a few moments as the magic takes hold. And then, with a very, very ragged inhalation. His eyes slowly close, and when they open, they are returned to normal. Very unassuming, but eccentric looking young man.
Hmm.
Is there anything else I might be able to do for you? Perhaps offer you something to take that beautiful gemstone off your hands? As his eyes are locked on where you have the gem stored, like he's staring through your bag in at the gemstone almost.
At the moment, I can't think of anything that we need.
It is all right. My wares will remain. I might have new stuff later. I might have gotten rid of other stuff by then. Who knows? But I will always have something. It just comes down to whether or not it is what you want.
I do have something else since you are here. I seek knowledge once again.
His head shifts over to you. It's almost an unnatural movement as there's a lot of magic at play and he seems to be riding it like an endorphin rush.
Book of Plants Life and Region.
You see his eyes kind of roll up into his head for a moment. All you see is white as he looks at you again. And he reaches out.
Did you check the empty? Oh, sorry.
No, what were you going to say?
I'll say, are you checking the empty space behind there?
He pauses mid-reach. And the big grin appears again. And it's a little unnerving. Extreme uncanny valley bullshit because that's... nobody's mouth opens that wide. He goes, "You are funny, man. I like you. I like you a lot." He pulls out a book. And he thumbs through it. "What have you for trade?"
Gold coins, main currency. As you can see, I do not carry many wares. As he slams his hammer on the ground, my weapon is what I use. It is my tool. Everything else is burden.
He slowly tilts his head to one side, then the other. Slowly tilts his head back the other way. And he holds out the book as he goes, "For your humor, I offer deal. You give me 5 gold coins and you take book."
I nod as I pull out 5 gold coins.
And
I
you
place them into his. Go ahead. Did we both just say go ahead at the same time?
Yes, we did.
I was just going to say I placed the gold coins into his palm.
So as you drop the coins into his palm, I'm assuming that you're also reaching out for the book at the same time. He releases
Yes.
the book into your hands. And as he turns his hand, the coins vanish. And he's studying you very intensely. You are an interesting one.
And why is that?
For reasons you will one day understand.
Or I may never understand. You may play the game by yourself all this time.
Oh, I definitely play my own games all the time. But this is above the game. This is something else altogether. You are interesting. In fact, as he looks to each of your companions in particular, even through the walls, You are all very interesting ones. Your stories are so varied. Do keep that coin handy. I enjoy seeing what you will do.
And I wish I could say I would enjoy seeing and hearing that wonderful voice of yours again.
It is okay. You will see and hear me great many times. For I am your friend. Whether you like it or not.
Like a
He's-
bad tick.
Yes.
As he smiles back at him.
Yes, I do suck so. And his eyes just kind of flash, and at that, his eyes flash, and he looks at both of you in turn, and his eyes quickly dart to the left. I need you both to make me wisdom saving throws.
Awesome. Being cursed.
Yay!
Cool.
Yay! Wait, I think I have that public. There we go.
Oh my god.
Okay, so-
I want to check.
So, when his eyes flicker, Totar, your head immediately snaps to the right. Vernon, you turn to the right for a moment, but it's just enough that you realize that he's forcing your gaze, and you jerk your head back, but it's too late. All that's left is a wisp of smoke. He was attempting to Batman you guys, make you look away and disappear unnoticed.
I'm gonna pat Totar on the back and go tend to the ill. And say, at least it wasn't a waste of time.
No, but also remember, whatever he asks you does not make you feel comfortable. You are not obligated, and you will not stand alone when you have to tell him that. I will be by your side for it.
I appreciate it. But I wouldn't want to drag you down with my own mistake.
You're not dragging me down. I am the one who brought him here, so therefore we share in this mistake.
Right. And with that, gonna go tend to the two sickest individuals.
Thankfully, they had not progressed very much in the time that you were speaking with Marcel. The first one that you treat does the same thing that Tullig did, horks up a bit of grossness and feels almost immediately better. The other one doesn't even hork up anything. He's so early in the infection process. The remaining individual, who's sweating profusely, that is his only symptom, is he's really just sweating. There's occasionally a little tremor in one of his hands, but other than that, other than the fact that the sweating is horribly out of place in this environment, you would almost think that there was nothing wrong with him, other than the gaping bite wound in his fucking neck. They managed to avoid the jugular, but they definitely ripped a nice chunk out of his trapezius muscle. But with that, you have a few more hours, everyone, before nightfall. Is there anything that you guys wish to do in particular, look into, etc., etc.? Or do we just continue nursing wounds and taking care of people the best we can, etc.?
I was gonna do a little something, but it's not like deal breaking.
What do you want to do? We will start with you, Lucky.
Listen, I am not leaving Talik's side
Okay.
for a start, but I'm going to start singing to him in Elvish a lullaby I used to sing all the other kids
All right.
to try and help people sleep. And this is probably going to be horrendous.
Roll for it. So,
Damn, my rolls tonight. This is good.
so we will
It is
come
in Elvish.
we will come back around to that
Mhm.
because potentially a couple people will be actively experiencing it, but that'll be leading up to you settling in for rest because there's there's arrangements where you could even kip up there next to them. They could bring you like an ottoman for your legs and like you could just recline and sleep in the chair there next to them.
Oh, I've also given Tulloch the Displacer piece to Cuddly Teddy.
But so Evany and Celeste, what are you guys doing? If you guys are doing something together still in the infirmary, or if you guys are scattering around to do other stuff, let me know what you guys want to do there, and then I will either break you guys up and do one at a time, or have you guys kind of role play out what you guys are doing together.
I was about to say Ebony's probably, I wouldn't say beelining, but just kind of like she's not gonna sleep until she's thoroughly satisfied people are pretty much stable.
Yeah, I would say Celeste, especially given the fact that she's like still new to healing and stuff, is going to kind of be like glued to Ebony's side and in that manner of, one task is completed by two people when it doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
Sort of way.
A little bit of too many cookies in the kitchen.
Yeah. She's not feeling super great from earlier. She's dealing with a lot of things. She does not like the sight of blood. She needs her emotional support friend. So, but she also wants to be helpful. So she is just glued to Ebony's side.
You're not fully underfoot, but you're not contributing as much as you would have if you were by yourself. But you're still helping.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but she's glued to Ebony's side.
And I feel like Ebony would probably be like, if she knows somebody's not really bleeding that much, she's probably gonna be like, Celeste, you go to this person, I'll handle this person.
Yeah.
She probably does until she's done with that person, then immediately right up your ass. So
she's learning.
Hey, that's always valid.
It's like Ebony's the doctor and Celeste is the resident learning right now.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that, Ebony's, all of her experience is a little bit of volunteer work, but 99% of it is book. How do you know this? I read a lot.
Meanwhile, Celeste is like, 2 weeks ago, I was, making things in a workshop and, taking my daily trips to my temple. I don't know what I'm doing here.
It's okay, I don't really know what I'm doing either.
She just fakes it really well.
Kind of. I do.
So, while you guys are doing that, Totar and Vernon, are you guys doing anything together outside after you've done your stabilizing and burned whatever spell slots you had left, Vernon?
I sent you a message on Discord because I didn't want to take up any more time because that whole trading thing took up a while. But basically, I was gonna go back to see if I could scout out any kind of
valid.
Childhood home or just the area. See if there's anything I could take home with me.
Sure. That is totally something that we can do a little bit of role play with.
If there's any rubble of the Halorian statue, I'll take that too.
All right. And Totar, what do you want to do?
Well, Totar, as he looks at everybody, doing everything they can and realizing he's not useful at this point, but he's going to be damn determined if he won't stay that way. As he picks up the book, sits down, and begins to flip pages through the new plant book he has to understand more of the plants in the regions that he's in.
All right. So, check your sheet. Okay, so
I'm waiting for that. Oh wait, I can't read.
No. He can read fine. He's not a barbarian. Correction. He's not a 3.5 barbarian, where they default start off illiterate. Yes, in 3.5, barbarians had a feature called illiteracy.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, and you had to either take a level in another class or spend one skill point to gain the ability to read any language you can speak. Which was so silly but so funny.
They get
Anyways.
bonus healing from crayons.
I didn't know you took the Marine subclass. Anyways. So, all right. I will say, as you're kind of reading through the book, I'm going to say that going forward in certain territories, because of what this book covers, you will, if you are using the book to, research, investigate, etc., herbs and plants, you will be able to use it to gain advantage on survival, nature, or investigation checks related to plants in those specific biomes. I will figure out what biomes I want to attribute those to at a later date, but that's what that book will be providing to you.
Okay.
Which coincidentally, the tundra is one of those biomes that this book will cover.
Perfect.
Meanwhile, in the triage room, while Lucky, you're kind of helping get Tullig resettled in after, he finished clearing out the starting blood clots of the hemorrhage and is breathing well again. You got him his little displacer teddy bear, and he's snuggled in and thanks you again for being there.
And socks.
Oh, and socks. I picture you probably handed out socks to the nurses to give to everyone.
Anyone who wants a pair of socks gets a pair of socks.
He's the Oprah Winfrey of socks.
Hey, believe me, I've got another use for these, but that'll come later.
Hey,
So, and while Ebony and Celeste are kind of getting everybody situated and, getting everybody as stable as they can, pulling out all the stops, burning all their spell slots, and even getting Eos or Celine involved with their healing as well. Eventually, on top of the fact that it's just, it's a bit of the fatigue from you working your ass off for the last several hours and just burning everything out. Everybody's looking visibly more comfortable in their beds, even the guy that's still fighting the affliction. Then you notice that you're feeling a lot more relaxed too. And that's when, as you finish the mad dash of running all over this triage unit, you finally realize that there's music. There's a very gentle rolling vocalization. Welcome back. Celine and Evany, do you both speak Elven by chance?
No, I do not.
I do.
All right, so Celeste, you understand the words that are being sung. Evany, you don't have a fucking clue what the words mean, but you
It just
recognize
sounds nice.
it is beautiful. It is soothing. It is the lyrical equivalency of a warm hug. As Evany, Celeste, you're not familiar with the lullaby that is being sung, but it is the story of the song is basically of either a parent to a child or a guardian to a child or somebody in that protectorship role to their ward, their child, or someone that they wish to protect and nurture, and basically a lyrical reinforcement of "I will be there as long as I am able to, type thing.
Oh.
And you look over and you see that it is Lucky singing this. You know, he's not belting it with, you know, full vibrato, but he's singing it loud enough that it is carrying through the ward, but he's quite clearly singing it for his heavily injured little brother.
No. I
And-
would say Celeste takes a moment to appreciate the singing and like the calming effects before immediately picking back up to follow after Ebony. To follow Ebony.
I will say, just because that was a beautiful role and a beautiful intention, Arthur, can I get you to roll me a d6? It is not much, but it's honest work. Anybody that is dealing with any kind of afflictions that will need to roll anything in the morning is going to get a +2 on that roll.
Oh.
As words have power, and you have brought the power of comfort.
Oh, good, because tomorrow I'm going to make everyone uncomfortable. As a joke.
But thankfully, only one person actually has to make a con save in the morning, and that's, you know, the guy still dealing with the disease. But still, he gets a +2 on his con save. But Vernon, you take. It probably takes you about. I'm assuming you go up to that upper tower to kind of scan about, and you can see the general footprint of what was once your home. In particular, the chimney, which is all that really remains, because it was the only major part of your house that was brickwork. The rest of it was wood, and it has long since been burnt to mostly ash.
Definitely gonna head there.
Once you get there, could you roll for me an investigation check?
Or-
So, I was going to give you something no matter what you rolled, even if you rolled a nat 1. But the level of success was going to determine the level of quality and potential, either mental or emotional value, that you may have in the thing that you acquire. With that roll, as you were kind of sifting through the ash, you know, at this point it's more like dirt because it's so settled in. But as you're sifting through the debris, the charred bits of dry rotted wood, you find something that long since thought was lost to you. Something that you never thought you would have seen again. Especially considering the house was everything was already burning when you left all those years ago. So you figured for certain that this would have been either pilfered during the initial raid or possibly would have been destroyed by the fire. You find a locket on a chain. And inside the locket, because it was closed, it managed to protect it from the heat of the fire. When you open it, there is a picture. And you know that photographs are very, very uncommon, mostly because the only people that can afford actual photography machines are the rich and famous, basically, or people that got the money to invest in it and use it for business purposes. And so it's kind of a luxury to buy such things, buy pictures that are done professionally, as it were. And inside this locket is a picture of your late mother and your father. He was around the age that your mother passed away. It was taken while you were very, very young, and you realize that in the picture of your mother, you see a little baby, and you realize it's a picture of you and your mother. That it was actually a picture of both of them, but just the way that they had to cut it out to make it fit into the locket. You know, they had your father on one side and you and your mother on the other.
I didn't know it. I don't know if you're done.
Oh, I'm done there.
All right. Well, probably for the first time since I've arrived there, I'm gonna smile a little bit. I'm gonna take the locket, put it on, and lean up against the chimney. How close is it to dark?
A couple hours, but as you lean up against the chimney, you feel one of the bricks shift. You hear a click. Then you hear a thud inside the fireplace.
Interesting. Definitely going to investigate that.
As you look down, there's a box that is sitting there. It's not, it's kind of cockeyed because of all the debris that's inside the fireplace, but it looks like it would have fallen flat had the fireplace been properly emptied.
You know, scoop up the box.
As you reach out to touch the box, the box itself is, in the muted light, you can still tell that the box itself is red, is a painted red wood with golden edging on all of the edges of the lid and the base of the box, and there are small little clawed feet for the four corners at the base of the box. And as you reach out to touch it, there's this glow and not like a blinding flash, but this little glow that brightens to a certain point and then almost like pops out of existence as you hear the box unlock.
You can open the box.
Fucking funny. So as you
This is fucking funny. Who's
Yeah.
the fucking Jack in the Box?
no as you open I had this plan there just in case I had no idea you were actually going to do this. So as you open the box, inside is it's an amulet, and but unlike the locket, which was on a very thin, fine gold chain, and it was not like an extravagant gold piece, but it was a modest set of jewelry. It was something that a commoner would be able to wear out for a fancy night that they don't get to do very often. This, however, is ornate. This amulet in the box. It's got a nice, thick, sturdy silver chain. And the amulet itself is one of the most elaborate and detailed symbols of Palor you have seen.
I am obviously confused because there's no way that we could have afforded this. But I'm gonna keep it quiet.
I would like for you to do me a favor. Just an off chance, roll me an Arcana check.
Sure. I don't know if this is going to lead me in a direction, but I was going to say my next destination would be the Shrine of Palor. You know.
You could.
I'm going to do Arcana check. My best stat, honestly.
Yeah. All right.
Whoa.
That does.
It's not a 1.
No, it's not a 1. It's not much better than a 1, but it's not a 1. That's all right. It's just a really, really beautiful amulet of Palor. So, as you take it, and I mean, the box is also really nice too. At the worst case scenario, you could probably fetch a small bit of gold out of it if you wanted to
I'll take the box.
offload it at some point. You know,
I'll take the box because I'm assuming this is some kind of strange heirloom.
It is. You know, the box itself was literally just a fancy jewelry box that somebody ensorcelled to, you know, not open for just anyone. So you take that and you head to the old Temple of Palor, which, like I said, that was the first landmark that you recognized when you arrived here. And as you enter into the old Temple of Palor, which the doorway arch is still there, and the back wall is still mostly there, but that's really about it as far as the structure goes. The statue of Palor that it was in there, the only bit of it that is remaining is the feet. The left leg up to right below the knee, and the right foot to right above the ankle. The rest of the statue seems to have been obliterated by something. I am going to say that as you approached, I'm going to force a use of your divine sense.
All right.
As you approach, you can tangibly feel the taint of darkness as this once holy site has been desecrated.
Can I tell by what?
Whoever destroyed the statue had actively defiled the site. You are not certain exactly what it was that did it. Actually, you know what? I would like for you to roll for me a religion check.
All right.
No,
Oh my God.
you're not certain what did it, but
Even with the help of my silly book?
no, not this one.
I mean, I rolled a 1, so...
Yeah. But you double check your features. Yeah, you feel intensely uncomfortable. In fact, you feel almost frightened in this place. There's an unnatural terror that's scratching away at you, trying to grasp at your heart. Everything is within you is telling you to leave this place.
Hmm. Does it get any stronger as I approach the statue?
Yes. It seems that the center of this area that is kind of giving you this tangible sense of dread is centered at the foot of the statue.
Well, gonna take out my book. I am going to get as
Oh,
close
and
to the statue.
Actually, real quick, I would like for you to roll for me a charisma saving throw.
All right. Charisma saving throw. There it is.
Okay, so you still feel that dread tugging at you, but it's not enough to actively make you just turn around and run for the hills. You manage to resist the effect, but the dread is still just kind of itching at you.
Doing my best to try and ignore it.
I will just let you know that the DC for that was a 20.
Okay. I mean, regardless, I am going to attempt to pray in front of the statue. I want to defy whatever energy is within. Let the light burn back through it again. Through myself.
Unfortunately, you're not able to outright, you can't cancel the effect that is tainting this place. But I will say that as you are praying, you actually can feel a bit of warmth coming from that new amulet. It's almost like it's trying to. It's almost the magic and emotional equivalency of like somebody trying to shout out over a crowded, loud room, but being mostly drowned out. But because of your proximity, you know that they're trying to make some noise. It's trying to be a conduit for your faith to bring you comfort. It's just having a hard time because of the darkness here.
Then at that point, I'm going to hold the amulet even closer to.
Out of curiosity, do you want to attune to it?
I'm not attuned to anything else, right? So it won't explode.
I don't believe you're attuned to anything.
I mean, Kyle gave us a ring that
that's not an attunement ring.
Okay. I don't think I have any magic items.
Nope. I mean, the closest thing is your gold coin of Summon Madman.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
That is what I named it.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. It made me giggle.
But yeah, I mean, I'm literally embracing the thing, so I don't know how else you attune to things.
Well, so basically, when you attune to something, you are effectively willingly letting its magic bond with your soul. Basically, it is yours, and you can interact with its magic freely.
Well, then, yes.
So, this isn't the way it normally works, but as I don't really want to waste too much time on going and getting somebody to identify it for you later, you currently have an Amulet of the Devout, specifically for a follower of Palor. What this Amulet of the Devout does this is a +1 Amulet of the Devout. When you wear this holy symbol, you gain a bonus to spell attack rolls and saving throw DCs of your spells, equal to the rarity bonus, which is +1. And while wearing this amulet, you can use your Channel Divinity feature without expending one of its feature's uses. So basically, you get one extra Channel Divinity a day.
Oh. That's cool. Now I just gotta start using them. My Channel Divinity isn't bad. Well, unless I could sense any kind of change in the statue for my Defiance.
No, there's nothing coming from the statue.
I will pack up, make a mental note to return when I am stronger, and head back to the party. Is anybody there?
We are there. I am here. I have
Okay,
not
first-
gone nowhere.
For a second there, I was worried because my internet tends to crap out later. So
That's understandable.
I was worried.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting tired.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Just a little bit.
We're about to wrap up. So
Let's say he's probably passed out in the triage area somewhere.
So, however you guys arrange for your sleep, you guys end up starting. We will bring the session to a close as you guys wake up in the morning, and the first thing that any of you do is Vernon goes and, I'm going to assume, with great boldness, expends 5 of your lay on hands first thing in the morning to alleviate the last of the diseases.
Yes.
Can I?
Oh, you already changed the number for me.
Yes, I did.
I was actually gonna say, if I swapped out spells and did detect poison disease before he did lay of hands, could we identify what the disease was?
I would let you roll a medicine check with advantage using the spell. And I do believe that's a spell that you can do as a ritual spell, right?
Let me check.
Yeah, it's a ritual. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a ritual spell, but that means that unless you are a book-based caster and have it in your book, any other caster has to have it prepared to be able to cast it as a ritual.
Yeah, I was
So-
gonna say, I would say during the long rest that she would have switched out her spells and had it prepared.
I'd say that's better than mine.
I have lots of spells I can switch out with.
I
So,
know.
so doing that,
Not
go
much.
ahead and roll for me, real quick, as we will prepare to end the session with this tidbit of information.
All right, and you said advantage medicine check.
Yes. Okay, so with that, as you guys are gathered around this last patient, who is, you know what? Oh, he legitimately does not look any worse today.
Put him in.
Good.
Because he nat 20'd it.
Right.
If he had another couple days to do a couple more of those, if he managed to nat 20 the next 2 days, he would defeat the disease himself.
He would need to nat 20 to do that.
Well, no, he would do it in 3 days if he did it that way. If he managed to beat the DC for at least the next 5 days, he'd be fine. But that's 5 successes.
Yeah.
He would need, or 2 more nat 20s. Anyways, he doesn't look any worse. He doesn't look any better, but he hasn't degraded. But as you're checking him over, he has ghoul fever.
But
Yay.
I had a feeling.
So with that, as we manage to stave off a potential plague here in this infirmary, we have acquired a number of... So this was very much a Vernon-centric day.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I know.
We're angry at you. We raise our pitchforks to you.
Still.
But everybody will have their day, and I will say I am very proud at the optional stuff that you jumped on. This was beautiful role play all the way around. Thank you all for playing with me tonight. And to the audience, thank you guys for hanging out. Samo, thank you for the gift sub. I will honor because of the bribe. I will honor the counter bless at some point in the near future. But thank you all for playing with me tonight. In another 2 weeks, we will have our next session, and we will discuss in the downtime in our chat about where we might wish to go. That way, we can roll into the role play next time. But with that, I'm going to deafen real quick and wrap up the stream. I will talk to you guys again shortly.
We saved everybody this time. Yippee.
We saved everybody this time.
Everybody that was there when we arrived.
We didn't save everybody in the first town, but we saved enough.
Yeah, you got a pretty good record.
All right, I'll be right back. Again, thank you guys very much, everyone, for hanging out. Hop over here. And yes, again, thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you, the Grumpy Cookies, for sponsoring tonight's episode. I had a blast. As far as I'm aware, my players are having a blast too. I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves as well. But that said, let us find a raid target. Who is playing Dungeons and Dragons right now that we can raid out to? Either somebody's doing Dungeons and Dragons or maybe some neat art. Got a lot of people playing a lot of different things. Ideally, I would like to keep it focused on fantasy content like this. No, nobody doing art over there. So let's do a quick search for Dungeons and Dragons. All right, there we go. I know where we're gonna go. It's a bigger stream, but hey. They definitely had much bigger production value, but hey. We'll go drop off over here at Blackwater D&D. Pop our raid messages. So once again, we will be back here again next, not this next Sunday, or not this next Monday, but the Monday after, for episode 6. But I myself, I don't think I've got D&D tomorrow night. I think tomorrow night's going to be another Baldur's Gate 3 stream. I could be wrong. Let me double check. Or not Baldur's Gate 3, Oblivion stream. Schedule. Today is officially the 20th. Oh, no. Tonight I do have D&D. Yes, it's now officially Tuesday. So, that said, thank you guys for hanging out. Stay safe. Choose kindness. Go to thegrumpycookies.com. And yeah, I love you guys, and I will see you guys soon. I love you, Samo.